Hello, and welcome to my final capstone presentation. My name is Christina Rhoades, and the title of my presentation is the Perspective Changing? Assessing the Relationship Between Young Christians and the Environment. Historically, Christian stewardship led to environmental and cultural harm, and many older Christians still hold views towards the environment that lack motivation towards green action. But the younger generation is the greenest generation, and a significant number of the younger generation is Christian. Therefore, it's important to study how young Christians interact with the environment and how education can inspire green lifestyle choices. My primary research questions for this project were how passionate are young Christians about nature and how concerned for the environment are they? Additionally, I studied where these environmental perspectives are learned and reinforced, and what impacts do these environmental perspectives have on society. For my internship, I worked with Malibu Club, which is a young life camp for high schoolers located in a remote area of British Columbia. My role at camp was as a landscaping intern, where I led 3 groups of volunteer teams through landscaping projects and maintenance initiatives around camp. We spent most of our time caring for the flowers, lawns, and overgrown areas of the property. From my internship, I developed a 9-page landscaping manual to help the next landscaping interns. The manual contained information such as daily schedules, seasonal differences at camp, as well as the biggest tips and tricks I would have liked to know as a new landscaping intern. Through the internship, I was able to develop a survey to distribute to the 79 college-aged volunteers at camp that included questions aiming towards understanding their environmental perspectives given their Christian faith. As you see in Figure 1, my respondents considered their hometowns to be in 20 different states spread all across the U.S. This allows for the potential for diversity of thought and for a spread in potential regional differences in environmental perspectives. From our responses, I was able to develop 4 main figures to comprehensively assess and understand my research questions. Figure 2 represents the responses to the question, how concerned are you about the environment? There was a slight spread of answers, though 70% of people responded to being either concerned or very concerned about the environment. Figure 3 supplements this by connecting religion to the environment with the guiding question being, how strongly do you agree with this statement? My religion influences my level of concern for the environment. As you can see from the orange and red pie slices, 71% of respondents indicated that their religion either influences or greatly influences their concern for the environment. Based on mental processing data, any level of concern or knowledge of environmental issues can lead to pro-environmental behavior and indicates a greater likelihood for green initiatives. Moving on to Figure 4, this graph represents the question, how passionate are you about nature? And 80% of responses show passion and strong emotion for nature, given the dominance of the blue columns on the right side of the graph. Passion is researched to heighten concern and care for the subject, in this case, the subject being nature. Given the high passion results, it can be determined that these young Christians have a high care for the environment. Looking at the last graph, Figure 5 shows that school and social media are the most prominent places that the respondents receive their environmental information. Additionally, I asked respondents if their 3 weeks in the remote environment had impacted their value of nature, and a significant portion responded that yes, their value of nature had increased. This connects that time in nature is necessary. From the results, the biggest takeaways are that religion and the environment are connected and greatly influence each other. Motivating young Christians to get environmentally involved will impact generations. Also, given the heightened concern in environmental connection, it is important to promote green choices for that demographic via social media and at school, since those are both the most influential environmental mediums. And lastly, in order to establish and maintain value of nature, time in nature and educational programs need to be connected in order to obtain and maintain effective environmental education. Figure 6 shows a photo of one corner of the landscape of camp where respondents spent the 3 weeks of their time and where they were surveyed. This is also where I conducted my internship. The landscape is rural and located in a remote inlet in British Columbia, Canada. This is a generally abnormal landscape to encounter for those living in developed cities or in regions outside of the Pacific Northwest, and I think we can agree that it's objectively very beautiful. This research shows us that there is a need for more funding in environmental programs to become more integrated into educational systems in order to develop the environmental awareness and connection. Also, socially encouraging and fostering the intersection between religion and the environment through educational and outreach programs will greatly benefit pro-environment behaviors. And lastly, training young Christians with skills and green knowledge will affect environmental history and create effective change through generational impacts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to thank Malibu Club for the amazing intern experience, my site supervisor, Mark Captine, my faculty advisor, Sarah Hemmett, as well as my friends and family for their unwavering support throughout this whole process. I'd also like to thank my respondents for taking the time to reflect on their environmental perspectives. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.